All right, man, we got a special show for y'all tonight. It's been a week of just cooking up. I wish we could have covered this even sooner, because everybody jumps on the topic so fast. But man, we talking about the prime effect. Talking about the prime
Prime time,
effect.
baby.
Exactly. Yeah. And honestly, what we're going to discuss tonight is the effect of prime on baseball, but we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in HBCU football and how that's translated to the PWI in Colorado. What we think about it, and what we think is going to do to the landscape of college. But it's been interesting. So what y'all got, man? Just first takes on Prime making the move from Jackson State, jumping over to Colorado. What y'all thinking?
But before that, okay. I want y'all's take on Prime in general. Being a two sport athlete, we posted on the page the other day. He said if he could go back in time, change anything, what would it be? He said he would probably play baseball more full time, right? Majority baseball. Um, how did y'all see Deion Sanders, prime time, as that two sport athlete growing up? Did he have an impact on y'all's game, the swag? Let's hear it.
Hey, dude was cool, man. He definitely was a pioneer for us growing up. I feel like. Um, Now I didn't really play football, but just seeing someone play baseball and football, it just made you think, like, damn, man, like maybe that could potentially be an opportunity for me or somebody I know to do something similar. And it's really unheard of because they try to get you to specialize so early now.
Right.
It's unheard of to play football and then come play baseball. But when you look at the sports, the seasons, they don't like they don't align. So you straight, you could play it. I, I honestly think you probably could play basketball and baseball as well, but you can't play like a sport that like crosses into. So you can't play like soccer and baseball, right? So
Yeah.
Dion, I just it made you think like, how was he actually doing that? You see the guys get drafted today: Russell Wilson, um, what's so Kyler Murray. You see
Jameis
the
Winston.
Jameis Winston. Hey, I don't like Jameis Winston. Don't bring that mud up on here. Um, but you see them get picked up today, and they always favor the football option. It, I think it's more guaranteed paper. I think it's guaranteed paper or more immediate money.
You go straight to the league.
Correct. You don't have to grind what y'all talked about the other day on the podcast of having to eat the hot dogs. You
In
know,
the minor leagues.
bar esque hot dogs or whatever he said. But
Yeah.
yeah, you get a chance to go straight to the league. So like, I really don't know why Dion said what he said. Being that we played baseball, I feel
I
like,
know why he said what he said.
well, I don't like y'all
I
played.
think I think his body is taking a beating. The physicality of football, right? What was you about to say, Raph?
I was like, dude, the man got half a foot.
Right. His half some of his leg is gone
He said he
Dog,
got half
forever.
a foot. How you think he got half a foot? Same
man.
same way you got half a motherfucking foot. Was in there lifting some shit you shouldn't have been lifting.
Nah, that ain't nah.
Ah, my
Uh
Achilles.
uh.
Hey, said
No,
the Achilles rolled up your calf like a lizard's tongue.
boy, that thing snapped. I thought somebody tripped me. But anyway, I was man, seriously, that's how I feel.
He
But
Yeah.
I
said he was
mean,
looking around.
but for real, you think about it. This is at one point in time, it's speculated to be one of the fastest football athletes ever. And now you got half of a foot. You know what I'm saying? That's got to be hard to take. It's hard to watch a superstar like that in his prime,
Mm.
and now you watch him limping on the field. Almost completely took away his ability to walk forever. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So it doesn't surprise me. It
He
Y'all
got
think he
doesn't.
would
paid
have
for it.
been as y'all think would have been as decorated baseball player
Nah,
like he was football player? No.
nah.
Nah, man. It's the same way
Because
with
he's arguably one of the greatest when
correct,
it comes to football.
correct.
Mm.
He
Same way
probably
with
y'all don't think he is stacked up.
with your boy. Same way with your boy King. Oh, Michael Jordan. I know y'all. Y'all got a lot in common. Y'all both got bald heads and shit. But same way with Mike, man. Mike, I just don't know how
He was better than
impactful
Mike.
Dion was. Okay,
He was way better. Mike wanted to
okay.
do it as a hobby. Like he just kind of wanted to get in there to prove to himself that he could do it. Dion was actually
You got
he was pretty good.
you
I
got
can't.
stat check. You got stat check.
Yeah, we need a fact checker. But supposedly, um, did he? Not, he didn't lead the league in stolen bases. I think he might have been second or so. I don't know. Don't get me the line on here. But the way he played the game, to me, the way he played the game was just like Kenny Lofton. He was a more athletic, less skilled Kenny Lofton. You know, in my eyes. So I don't think that his height in the game of baseball would have been greater than his height in football. But this is what's interesting. I heard somebody talking about the money he made. Think about it. He just made $5 million going to Colorado.
I thought he made more than 5 mil. I
It's a
thought he signed a no. He made more. He signed a 5-year deal.
How much would you say he made over the course of his career, if you had to take a guess?
Like baseball wise, or all his.
Football.
They didn't pay out like that back in the day.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think he got to like 100 mil.
Try 30 mil
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
over the course of his
That's what I'm
career.
saying.
There we
And
go.
you got the opportunity now to make, what is that? Do that quick math right there. What is that? A sixth? Yeah, that's a sixth. To make in 2 years you've now had the opportunity to make a sixth of what you made over the course of your entire career doing something that you spent your entire life doing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tough to look at that situation and say, man, he shouldn't have took it. But it's so many sides to the argument, man. It's just how we want to get it going.
You led us right into it. Do you think it was a good move for him, or should he stay at Jackson State?
It was a good move for Dion, a bad move for the culture, man. Let's go ahead and keep it a buck, man.
Oh, damn.
It was a good move for Dion, bad move for the culture, man. I mean, I'm just saying, we got a chance to hear from so many different people, bro. You know, um,
What's the
from
one
so many
hater?
different.
What's the one hater name that y'all sent me to join on? It's just on there hating.
You talking about Jason Whitlock?
Whit, yeah, Whitlock.
Whitlock, man, he a hater, man. Hey, come on now, dude.
But
Dude had an opportunity to better his whole family. I keep trying to tell people this. This was strategically planned for his family. Like y'all fathers, y'all got kids. If you have opportunity to put your kid in a better situation to prepare him for the draft, maybe long term, his stock gonna go up high if he play football in the Pac-12. His stock was already decent where he was, but it wasn't gonna be as good as it was in the
Yeah,
Pac.
but I mean, he don't need his pops to leave. He can leave. He can transfer out.
He could
that's
have
a good point.
he could have transferred out. Man, you watch Coach Carter, man. Everybody want to play for their pops. Man. He trusts his dad,
That's
man.
that's a good point. I never
Yeah, I
thought
mean, he
about it
know
like
the
that.
system. He know the system and everything. The thing that gets me, man, is that, and I'm on all the sides. I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm glad that he left. He get the opportunity because now he get to hire some more black coaches and put them in some positions. Matter of fact, he went out and hired the head coach at Kent State, and he hired the head coach at Florida Atlantic
Oh wow.
As
to be on
assistants,
his staff. Yeah, man.
ooh,
And
pretty.
um,
That's solid.
and yeah, and so I'm
So,
glad.
how's that bad for the culture then, Raf?
Hold on, I ain't saying. Well, well, look. When he was there, he always asked for resources, right? Give me some more money, help me, right? And for the black community, now we look at it as like, dag, man, come on, Dion, like you letting us down, right? Like we finally got somebody with some great stature to be there, and we can hitch our wagon to this HBCU thing. Man, I talk to people all the time. They still don't know what HBCU is. But you can bring that exposure to it, to the SWAC conference and HBCU football and HBCU colleges. But like Jason Whitlock said, man, like where are all of these high profile athletes, entertainers,
Boy,
celebrities, wealthy
call him
people?
out, bro.
Put your money into HBCUs. Put your money into the SWAC conference. Put your money into Jackson State. Help this man out. And
Did,
if it
did
was about money, you just talked about money, Ty. If people can help, all these big PWIs out here, they got big boosters, big money, right? If you get that man some money, maybe he does stay.
right. And look, I mean, it's just so many sides to it. And it's so much, right? Y'all know who Chris Broussard is, right?
I do.
I love Chris Broussard. Chris Broussard, he's a man of faith. Dion, he's a man of God. I'm still trying to figure out how faithful is Dion, because let's keep it a buck. Dion been married twice.
Right?
He currently got a girlfriend. That ain't your wife.
Miss Evans.
Hey,
Miss Parker.
Miss Parker, Miss Parker.
You know, she bad, but truly, if you are a man of God and you are saved, and so I mean, because anybody, they talk about God, what, but different people worship in different gods. Let's keep it a buck, right? But if your savior truly is Jesus Christ, and that's truly what you believe, why haven't you married this woman? Right? If you being called by God to go to Jackson State by the same God that I worship, I'm just saying, and he called you to Colorado too, and you truly believe that your God is bigger than the money, bigger than the resources, bigger than the setbacks. There is no mountain that he can't move. Why can't you just stay at Jackson State and make it happen? I'm just saying, from a faith perspective, don't bring that part of God. Please don't bring God in it from that perspective.
I understand 100%.
Hey,
Some of the stuff that I listen to is kind of cringe. I
Yeah,
cringe just a little bit.
but now from a business perspective, get paid, young. Get
get
paid.
paid. Hey, Reggie, what Deion Cole say? He said, "Parking blessings. Thank you for these parking blessings." Hey,
Hmm.
yeah, you, I don't put it on any of what happened. I don't put that on the whole faith aspect. Again, I just truly believe it was he moved strategically for a reason, and he empowered a lot of other people behind it, as you alluded to, Reggie. He hired some other African American members that are going to help him be successful where he's going, and he taking that whole group with him. Like we talk about it in baseball. Like I thoroughly enjoy seeing like all black players on the field playing, right?
Absolutely.
But
So
why they
like
got
in
to be
this
on a
setting,
white plantation though?
what field you talking about?
Why gotta be on a plantation? Why you gotta empower people on the plantation? Why can't you do that at Jackson State?
Hmm.
Well, okay. Why would you call Colorado the plantation? Would
It's
you
a
call it that?
PWI.
Oh, I thought you were calling it that because it's Marijuanaville out there. But okay.
Nah,
Nah,
and look,
nah.
I don't want our viewers to take my words and be like, oh, this guy's. I'm saying this is the perspective that we look at this as a people, as a culture.
Absolutely.
You in your own backyard with your own folk. You talking to Nick Saban, telling Nick Saban, why wouldn't my people want to come play for me? You convincing the number one recruit in the nation to play for something bigger than himself, convince him to leave Florida State, your alma mater, to say, come play for something bigger. Because if you can do it here and you show everybody, but then you say, okay, it's it's not cool for me to go to FSU, but it's cool for you to go to Colorado. Like it's just a double standard.
Hey,
That's the double standard that
Let me ask this.
does
How long do y'all think it would have taken Dion to reach a Power Five status if he had stayed at Jackson State?
it?
When I say Power Five status, I mean being able to compete weekend after weekend with Power Five
It'll
schools. How
never.
long does it take?
It would have never happened, man. Somebody would have prevented. They would have came up with a new rule for transfer and eligibility purposes. The same people we talking about. They would have shut it down. It would have never happened. It gave it a little bit of light, let him enjoy himself for a little bit, and then they take it away from him. It wouldn't have happened.
wow.
They're not that.
So him staying, like, I mean, maybe he thought, like, maybe I'm just not gonna get to where I want to get to as a coach.
Hmm.
Right? We're talking about a HBCU. Like, they can't even participate in bowl games. They can't participate in FCS championships, can they?
No. They play in their own. They play in the one that North
Right.
Dakota State wins or whatever every year.
Yeah, but
JMU.
JMU,
Yeah.
JMU, they go all over the country playing in that tournament, but Jackson State, they don't even get the opportunity to do that.
They could have played
Yeah.
in the FCS this year, but
They're top.
the scheduling conflict, they decided to play in the Celebration Bowl instead. That's my understanding of it. But let me
Look at that boy bringing the facts. No. Hold on. Okay, y'all both spoke. I just want to say
go on.
this. Is this
Tell me.
no? You could take the floor in a second. This the same position that we ask like rappers and stuff to talk about. Hey man, like I made it, but then they get out of where they came from. Nobody wants to stay in that environment. I don't care what you say. Yes, I enjoy our people, but if I have an opportunity to better my life and those around me, I'm going to get up and leave. And he put it on display for you. He showed you the whole video of the walkthrough of the facilities. They even kept showing his son's face when they were walking
That
through the
time was
facility.
tight.
You cannot match those facilities. They had everything on. It was a full sale tactic. They had his picture already on wall, ready to go to. Some of them photoshopped him into the Colorado uniform with glasses on and a fitted. Look, it was a
And a
perfect
peg
set
leg.
in
And a
a
peg
peg
leg.
leg. It was a perfect sale, and you, I know you, myself. We gone, man. I don't know why we're sitting here fighting this topic. Like we gone. If you have an opportunity to sit first class or fly in the backseat of the plane, what you gonna do?
But okay, and look, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you to the extent that my brain can comprehend it. 'Cause I've never been in that situation, but I would think my logical brain would tell me, man, this is the way to do it. But like I said, my beef is don't tell players that they don't have to do it to make it, and then you go do it to make it. So it's not good enough for Travis Hunter to go to Florida State,
Florida State.
but Colorado is good enough for you to send your son there. Because I really do think this move was more about his sons and getting his sons where they need to be
Yes,
than
yes.
for Dion himself. I think at the root of it, probably it was that. It was some more things going. Let me read this thing to you real quick. I'm trying to fly through it. This is a post that I saw, a response to a post. A guy named Eric Johnson. And give Dion his credit. Jackson State was paying Dion a $500,000 a year. His assistants were making around 150 per year. Now he'll be making $5 million a year, while his assistants will be making 500 a year. Half of his best players will enter the transfer portal and go with him to Colorado, and he leaves Jackson State with better facilities. In 2 to 3 years, he will turn Colorado into a contender, which will make other black coaches appealing. In 3 to 4 years, he'll be offered a head coaching job in the NFL. Likely to happen. Now,
You
sure,
don't want to go to the NFL,
I don't think so either.
but
I
yeah.
think he get lost. I don't think he makes an impact at the NFL level. Guys don't respect
He
him.
said he don't. He said he don't want to be coaching nobody that make more money than
It,
him.
look, because you can't tell him what to do. So he said, sure, Jackson State didn't want to lose him or his star power, and certainly the swag didn't want to lose him because of all the perks he brought to the conference. He gave back half his salary to improve the condition of the locker rooms, but to ask him to sacrifice his personal welfare and that of his assistants is something I wouldn't necessarily do. Besides, he improved their overall condition and that of the conference tenfold. It is because of him the NFL is holding combines specifically for HBCUs. I think he's done more than enough for that university and the conference at large. Here's the twist. Perhaps the only problem I'll have with him leaving is he tried to instill in our black athletes that if we stayed at home, HBCUs, we can eventually become the cream of the crop and get those TV contracts and other perks the big schools now have. He can now throw that argument out of the window with him leaving. What you get from that?
Hey, here's a better. And look, that's a mic drop. But would you want to be the head coach of Jackson State now? Would you want to come in and fill up his shoes, or would you just let the interim guy take over?
I think I heard him talk about that. He talking about he trying to move somebody. You say TC? Somebody called somebody named TC. I don't even know who this person.
TC.
Hell no! What you doing? You
Correct.
can't do that. You can't do that, dog. We're talking about generational talents here. Let's look at it by sport in that era. You got Michael Jordan in basketball, Deion Sanders in football, Ken Griffey Jr. in baseball. Right? These guys, they were the faces of their leagues. Right? The star power that the kids looked up to. Man, I want all of them. Almost had signature shoe. Jordan had a signature shoe. Kenny had a signature shoe. Deion did not have a signature shoe. A lot of people don't know this, and this was his beef with Nike. He wanted a signature shoe. He outsold Jordan at one point with the shoe he was wearing through Nike than Jordan when he came out with the Jordan. A lot of people don't know that. I just learned this the other day. I didn't realize that. Right, so that's why he got a beef with Nike, and he don't really bang with Nike like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
what here's what we're not taking into consideration. A lot of people outside looking in, oh, he laid the blueprint and you could just put somebody in there and, dog, there is not another Deion. Please pick out another former pro athlete that you could think of off the top of your head right now that can come in and make the same impact that Deion did.
What sport?
Football.
Football. Shoot, you got pro athletes right now. Eddie George.
Can't
He ain't
do
got the
it.
same.
Who'd you say?
He ain't got the same impact.
Exactly. Eddie George.
Who?
Exactly. Eddie George. Dog, you can't even Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice couldn't do it. Dog, it's
What's old buddy name who lead the league in kick returns? Career? Devin
was
Hester.
it
Devin Hester.
not enough people know about him.
Devin.
What if they went out and got somebody like Cam Newton?
Okay.
Somebody that has been around the game, especially at the youth level. Cam Newton has his 7-on-7 league. He coaches. He can relate to younger players. He's got the flair, the swag. I'm pretty sure that he would have to get some other guys around him to probably advise him as far as the whole college scope of things. But could he be a guy that could step in there and take the reins?
Here's the difference. Go ahead.
It's got to be somebody.
Tom.
It's got to be somebody decorated to fill the slot. Like you said, old TC. I was on staff. I know the lay of the land. People not looking for that, man. That's not sexy.
That's the problem with HBCUs now.
Correct. what old buddy say? Deion ain't swag. He said, "I'm swag." Old buddy.
He kind of looked right. I mean, he kind of looked right.
Proved his point, right?
He did prove his point. He did say Deion won't swag. But like you said, Raph, that is the problem with HBCUs today. They just bring in bodies within, and them bodies don't ever really leave. That dude who was here at Norfolk State, Marty Miller, he's still here. Like, he baseball, but he's still here just in like an AD role. It's like, damn, man.
You damn near got to die.
Damn, I didn't want to say it, but yes.
Yes, you damn near got to die or retire to be terminated from a position at HBCUs. Like the culture is they're so loyal to these, even people that don't even bring much to the program. They're so loyal to it, right? But to your original point, Reggie, here's the difference with a guy like Cam. Cam in 20 years is not going to be to the sport of football what Deion was to the sport of football. The only difference is the iron is hotter right now during his career. That's it.
You're talking about legacy.
The
legacy that he has left.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm 20 years down the road. He will have not made the same impact that Deion did for the game of football. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. Right? But he's so close to just leaving the game, and he's so relevant still that he could make a true splash if he did go to a Jackson State. Colin Kaepernick could probably do something similar, but I don't know from a political standpoint, he would have so much kickback. I don't think he could make the impact that Deion did. You know what I'm saying? Like
Not
Deion,
a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people could coach, man. Like Deion actually knew the game. He knew the ins and outs
Right.
to the
But
game.
Deion's not an X's and O's guy though.
We say he ain't an X and
He's
O. We
not.
say he ain't one. You become a
He's a motivator, right? He's a motivator. He's a recruiter. He's got coaches that coach.
you.
At Colorado, he bringing in coaches that coach the game.
We just know him as a motivator because he a deacon on in the church. Like, nah, man. You trying to tell me, dude, don't know how to?
I'm not saying that
He is
he
a
don't know
technical
football.
genius. You know how
And
hard
he
it is to
might
play the
be,
position that he played?
but
They say that's the hardest position in football. You
anyway,
know he know all the ins and outs to the position.
Here's a
who
here's the only thing why I agree with Ty, because he had to coach at the high school level. You don't have access to that many coaches at the high school level, and then he coached youth football too,
Coach
and
you football.
so you got to learn something over that course of time, you know.
Reggie, you
But
wrong. Hey, we got a debate over here, man. Reggie, you wrong. He
yeah.
he
Who's
he good, man. He good.
I'm not taking nothing away from Deion as a coach. I'm not. I'm just saying I feel like it's just like NFL, right? You got a coach, pump up the team, rowdy, right? Game management,
Mhm.
but you got an offensive coordinator that's calling the
Mhm.
plays, defensive coordinator that's doing the thing, off special teams dude. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
And I feel
He's
Dion,
advised.
he gonna bring he gonna bring a lot to the table as far as that motivation,
Right.
recruiting, awareness, sponsorships, NILs. He gonna do it.
I don't feel like any coaches in the trenches, any head coaches in the trenches with his players, and can paint a vision the way he does. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Not at
I
the.
agree.
There's too many. There are too many head coaches in college football that think they're better than players because they're getting paid so much.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like they don't get close enough to their players for them to even feel that kind of connection.
Give
You
me
know,
one. Name somebody.
Nick Saban.
Come on, man. Let Nick be great, man.
He,
Jolly old
he is
Saint
great.
Nick.
He's
Come on,
he's
switch it
he's
up.
great. He's a great. But look at it. Look what the transfer. Look what Dion has created within the transfer portal. I wonder how many of his kids Dion is actually talking to. The last I counted like 8 to 10. Eight to
They
ten.
jumped in the.
Them jokers bounced
Yeah, they rolled.
quick.
They rolled. And that's the only reason they rolled because of the change. They wouldn't have went to Jackson State, man. They wouldn't
This
have
is
went to
true.
Jackson
You
State at
right.
all. Like,
You right.
hey, coach, on the low. Hey, I'll get up and roll if you go into another school. Hey, I want y'all to come down here to Jackson State with me. Oh no, coach, I was at Bama, bro. You seen our facilities versus your facilities? No, I'm not coming. Hey, all right, let me tell you what, boys. I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna go to Colorado. This ain't public knowledge yet, but I'm gonna give you a heads up. As soon as that dude hit the portal, or as soon as he hit the social media dude started tagging him at Colorado, immediately, boom, those boys were in the portal, and those boys were gone. He about to rack up on the recruits. He just needed better facilities, and I truly believe, like I said, it was strategically put in place to move based on the betterment of his family, his kids, but to bring in some dogs because he knew they were coming. Like Reggie, that's like
Yeah.
Reggie. Just as an example, you coach with the dirt bags, right? You ain't leaving, but let's just say hypothetically, the Canes set you up with a roster this loaded, right? You got a loaded roster on one side. All you gotta do is just pretty
Hmm.
much just pick up and
Hmm.
go,
Hmm.
and they give you everything paid.
How much you talking?
They paying for all your trips. You flying everywhere.
Mm-mm. How much in my pocket?
You,
How much money we took?
hey, they putting 10 racks in your pocket on the summer circuit. They giving you 10 racks, and hey, look at them,
I'm
look at
gone.
them.
I'm out, baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
So think about it. Like, yeah, he say he ain't for the money, he didn't really need the money. He literally changed lives behind his decision. I know he affected a lot of lives, or he impacted some in a negative way, but as long as the people around me eat and I make sure that their lifestyles change, hey man, that is a W for me. His coaching staff instantly went from whatever their stipend was you just said, Raf, to $500,000.
They got his salary.
They made his salary on the move.
Basically.
Hey man, who wouldn't do that? Who wouldn't do that? That's why that rapper job was so such a big move at the time because if I'm not mistaken, like Joe advocated for Allen and BA to make a certain amount of money. So they were making a little bit more from an assistant role than most people were. So like when they decided to like up and roll, it was a huge push for people to come in because it was a decent amount of money. And it was like head coaches like trying to jump into assistant coaching roles just for
Assistant role.
for the paper, man.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. And I don't see no fault in leaving. And I don't give a fuck who I left behind when I leave. Those cookouts and those dances and the halftime shows sound great.
And the
And the
band.
band, hey, sound amazing.
Hey, is the band transferring?
Hey,
Dion need that.
hey, I heard that the band was considering packing up and rolling.
They hit the transfer.
They had the
band
band
and
in
the
the transfer portal.
Hey man, let's pivot real quick. Let's pivot real quick. So, talking HBCU baseball now. Other than Ken Griffey cannot be an answer.
Damn, I was about to say it.
Who do we see that could go into an HBCU program and make the same impact Dion did, but for baseball?
Wow, that's a hell of a question, man.
Black player.
They got to be a
Of
black player.
course. Of course, bro.
Black? No, I mean, they don't have to be a black player. They could be a Spanish dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Nah, not at HBCU.
A-Rod could jump right in one of them.
Yeah. A-Rock could go to Bethune-Cookman.
Correct.
Maybe Bethune-Cookman.
That is so true.
and,
Yes.
and do it.
See?
But historically black. If we're going to go historically black.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to think about this too long, but if I could take a black player and slide in that scenario, ain't too many names. Bo Jackson, maybe. I don't know why he would do it, but Bo Jackson.
That's a good one. Actually, I ain't thought
Me
about
neither.
that.
I think Bo is too far removed, though. I mean, I don't think kids know Bo like
They
Bo.
know Bo. This mug joint come on Instagram of him throwing the ball from right field every day on my feed. Hey, dude, yeah, people know Bo.
And run up the wall.
Run up the wall. Then the one throw he threw from left field where he caught it and just like wrist flipped it all the way back to first base. Bo. Let's see. All right, so I can't say Ken Griffey.
That's
You
Nah,
want?
who you got, Turner?
Uh,
Throw something out there. I know who
You
Turner
know
gonna
who I'm
say.
going to say, man. I know I would go.
You can't say him neither.
Come on, man. Yeah, you can't say Barry.
Nah,
You
go
can't
ahead.
say Barry.
That-
You
that-
can't say Barry.
You know he
Of
gonna say
You
course.
can't
Barry.
say it. Hey, but Isogen,
Raf's answer to all baseball player questions is Barry.
yeah.
Raf, who you want cooking your burger at
Barry,
McDonald's?
man.
Barry.
That's Barry, man.
Hey, no. What's old buddy name? Who take the who pop the pills to keep himself strong?
Oh, Frank Thomas?
Frank Thomas. That man don't be popping that for that.
Yes, he do.
Talking about Nutrigenics.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that
testosterone
joint said at
booster.
the end of the commercial every time. And,
Them ain't
and
pipe pills.
fellas, she'll
They-
thank you later, too.
He say it every time, just like he just said it.
How you think I know? They need to go ahead and sponsor your boy. Nah, I'm joking. But dog, man, Reggie, you basically chopped our legs off asking that question. If you say Ken Griffey can't do it,
I know.
He ain't chop our legs off. I just gave
Because
you two good
early-
examples.
it would have to be him.
No, I mean, yeah, him or Barry. But like you said earlier, Raf, when they were playing, man, it was three people of their sport, or one of y'all said it. It was Barry, Griffey, and Jordan. And so Griffey is like that comparable.
What happened to Griffey?
but-
What happened to Griffey?
But can he hold on? But can he? You think he can relate to the young guys? Baseball
Yeah.
counts.
He in that world.
Okay.
He involved in that world. He does that MVP stuff. Because I know Josiah played in that event and he was there. Hey, what happened to him along the way?
Injuries.
I I know his story, but like, dude, literally was just like, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out as like the great and just pack it in.
Injuries. Injuries. I think I really do think going to the Reds hurt his career.
I think so too.
Because I mean, you think about nobody.
Still don't look right in that Reds
No,
uniform, man.
Mm-mm.
not at all. You look at all the greats, man. You associate them with one franchise, one team. Even Barry. Barry played with the Pirates, but you just think San Francisco when you think Barry.
Yep, 100%.
He just played
Very
such a
early in his career, right?
very early in his career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Griffey went to the White Sox. You know what I mean?
Huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Did
yeah.
he?
When was
Yep.
this?
He played a season or two with the White Sox.
When?
At the end of his career, clearly.
I didn't know that. I thought you were about to say the beginning.
But speaking of Griffey, man, a couple days ago this came out. Ken Griffey Jr. Swingman Classic, bringing HBCU baseball to 2023 MLB All Star Weekend. So basically a quick recap, right? So this year they're going to be taking, I want to say 50 Division I players from HBCUs
Yeah.
to compete in an All Star game. All Star Weekend. So it's creating exposure. It said it'll also showcase the history of baseball programs at historically black colleges and universities. How we feel.
Hey, when we played, that would have been enough right there. That would have been incentive enough to go ahead and make a move. When we played,
That's tough.
because
That's
we
tough.
were searching for a place to roll. Hey, because you remember we played A&T. A&T had some dogs, boy. Goodness, they had some dogs. And
Tell the story. Tell the story real quick. Let everybody know how we felt on the bus going to Greensboro, North Carolina from Radford. What was the vibe and how did we feel?
so on the trip, keep in mind our perspectives are going to be different. You know, some people's memories are a lot different today than they once were. But I remember going to A&T, and we got there. We were warming up, and I just remember saying to myself, like, man, it's a lot of us over there on that side. I remember saying that, but I didn't make it a big deal because I viewed it. I used to think like, hey, they looking at us like, dang, they solid over there. So the game start. I'm gonna fast forward, right? So the game start, and I'm just steadily watching dudes do work. Like, did BD play on that team? Yeah, BD played on the team. Dog.
But there was a
When we
dude.
played
I think there was a dude
it
better
was a
than him.
dude better than BD on the team.
CJ was it CJ
Big time.
with
Yep.
something Jones or something Jones.
Oh, that's a light skinned dude that used to get off.
Hey, A&T that year, incredible roster, man, and they did work. But I just remember our teammates like hating, and it made me feel some type of way because we actually were that skin complexion. It was like our teammates were just like, man, they ain't no good. Like they got. I don't think anyone actually said they got a bunch of blacks over that on that side, but I know that's what they were saying in here, right?
Oh, HBCU.
Yeah. So I rarely have I played a game. Y'all know me very well. Like I'm super, super selfish. And I have never really played a game where I wanted someone else to get off more than I got off. Y'all talk about this shit all the time. Y'all be trying to play me on here. But I really wanted them dudes to get off. Big time. To the point where, hey, I'm gonna say this live on the cast. Somebody hit a line drive to be in center field and I let the drink dump in.
Oh please, you gonna have to chop this piece and put this on the
No,
gram, bro. You got to.
bro, that gotta
That's what I'm
stay.
saying. That use that. That's hilarious.
Oh my god.
For the viewers, man.
What you got? What you
Just for the
got,
viewers, I'm gonna
Rap?
keep it in one sentence. For the viewer, this is how bad it was. Because I remember the games at Norfolk State. I remember games at A&T. Most significantly, the games in Savannah State when they beat the brakes off of us.
Oof.
Going in, it made you so anxious because you knew the feeling of the people on your. But it was like our team felt predisposed to the fact that they should win because they were playing against a black team. In my head, and I think I speak for all three of us here, it was almost like I wanted to get off, but I still want them to win. I still want the other team to win.
100%. 100%.
And that's it. That's
You was
I'm gonna get mine. I hope my boys beside me. I hope they get theirs. I'm pulling for A&T. And they beat us, right? They beat us one game.
beat us.
one game. No, A&T beat us a couple of games.
Multiple.
Yeah, I think prior
Well,
to Joe.
hey, the,
Joe was chewing our ass out, and I was smiling inside.
you bring up a good point, Ralph. You remember we played Savannah down there? We went down there, and it was one dude. He was a black player, but he was like 4 for 4
He was
like one
nasty.
game. Yeah, he was really good, and I remember he had hit a ball to me in center, and it was like one of the. I made a ton. I ain't gonna say I made a ton of E's, but this was one E I always remember because when I train today, I always think about this ball type. This ball was smoked, and it got to me fast, and I didn't like get down. Like, I didn't take like a knee to break down to knock it down, and the shit just went underneath my glove and went all the way to the fence. And when I went to go get the ball, it felt like the fence was like a whole nother baseball field behind me. I was embarrassed. Right? So I'm jogging. I'm looking over in right field, hoping Ellis could come get the ball. And Ellis, slow ass, he didn't come get the ball. So I pick up the ball and I throw the joint in. And Naylor was on the other side of me. I pick up the ball and I throw it in. And I remember Will saying like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And I was just like, "Hey man, it just got by me." And he was just like, "Come on, man." And like he was like mad. And in my head, I was thinking, I was like, I'm kind of glad I let that thing go through. I felt like no remorse behind the actions that happened in the field during that time because they did us dirty, man. Like we legit didn't play. In settings
That was
like
the
that,
worst,
like
man.
here, this is real. Let me say this. This is a real thing. When you play ball, if you go, and I'm not saying that the coach should favor us in this scenario, but I know oftentimes, like in basketball, if a player is from New York and they go play a game at Madison Square Garden,
They gonna get
they
some
give him
burn.
burn because that's where he's from. If you go to your hometown to go do something, you favor them just a little bit. If you're playing against an HBCU team and you got 3 or 4 of them on your roster and all 4 sit, come on, man.
We had 5 brothers on a
Come
PWI.
on, man. No, I'm not calling us no PWI. We were trash. Look,
I mean, we were predominantly white institute.
that upsets me when I say it out loud because it's just like, man, we had an opportunity for us to try to even the playing field by just at least giving us a chance. Like, hey, I'm a match star power for star power. Let's at least see what they got. This would be a good example of letting them play. But instead, we sat there. I got pictures of us like taking a knee, like just being happy to
I know what
have
you're
being
doing.
just happy to be at the place. Man, I don't got no respect for none of that. That's why when people get to talking about like who brought you in, and I honestly just be talking like, hey, I played for Joe. Like I never say the other two. Like y'all want to like say, hey, he did a good job recruiting. I never say the other two because he had a chance to speak up for us and never did.
Now Reggie
Like,
be on that. I don't be on that.
no, fuck that.
Man, get out of here, bro. I just look. They got to be included in the story. I was still pissed off. Y'all remember we out there pregame at Winthrop, and only the starters got to
Oh
do in
dog.
and out. That's my time to shine. That's my time, right? Let me get 2 balls to throw to third base and let me get 2 balls to throw to home. I'm going to air this thing out and then I'll go sit on the
So I'm gonna
bench.
air it out.
And when you tell me that I haven't done enough to earn it, that was it. And don't ask me if I can vouch for you to be the head coach next year.
No,
No.
exactly. Hey,
So, yeah.
I rock with that.
Business
But
is
anyway,
yeah.
back to this thing. Back to this thing real quick.
I rock with that.
HBCU All-Star game. Does this make a significant impact? Like, does this draw more black athletes, more baseball players to the game? Like, does it give them something to really push for? And I guess create more opportunities for guys to get to HBCU schools.
No,
Hey, my bad of it. I mean, I'm with Ty. I'm with Ty on this one, man. It doesn't.
Hey
It's
man,
we're not trading apples for apples here. You're running into the
right?
same thing with Dion. It still doesn't change the lack of resources that I have. I played with a dude,
There
Liddell
you go.
Hayes. Man, probably one of the strongest arms I've ever seen before. Dude got palm this big, fingers this big. Like I seen this dude throw a ball from the right field wall. Right field turned back to 400. This is at the Altoona Curve Stadium. I watched him throw a guy out at third base on a one hopper. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. He played at Alabama A&M. This fool said he was hitting off some they had a pole in cement in a bucket that they used for tee work. And you telling me that I'm supposed to salvage all of my career on the fact that I can show up and play in an all-star game. I mean, you just pray that you get off in that game. That's about it. But it doesn't change the resources. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't change the fact that guys, a college roster, 12.7 scholarships. What is it? 11. I'm sorry, 11.7
11.7.
scholarships, 30-man rosters, 35.
35.
35. We already can't fully fund the team with scholarships. Not all schools even have 11.7 scholarships. And
Right.
you expect me to think the fact that I get a chance to hopefully I see Ken Griffey at the event. You know, you want one event during the school year to make me feel good about making the decision to spend the next 4 to 5 years at an HBCU where I probably got, lesser resources. It doesn't even the playing field.
Man, and you hitting on something crazy right there about the resource thing because, all of us have coached high school players, in some
Right.
capacity over the past, 5, 10 years, whatever. And the one thing that we hear these high school athletes talk about, one, I want to play college baseball, right? I have a burning desire to play college baseball. Two, I want to play Division
Mm-hmm.
One. I want to play D1. Okay. But then when you put the opportunity to possibly go to a HBCU in front of a white player, majority of the time, the response is,
Yep. I'll go play some D2 or some D3.
or maybe we fall by the wayside and we don't play baseball at all when you don't get the opportunity to play Division One.
Man, I'm gonna have to
You
go
know,
Jason Whitlock on this one, man. I know they feel like that because you got because we got our own people that think that HBCU baseball is beneath them. So I know white folks look at it this similarly, if not even worse.
Raph, where you go?
Can you hear me?
you on here? I got him.
Oh.
Yeah, I
I
got
don't
him.
see him though.
Yeah. So
I see him.
yeah, man, that's rough.
HBCU baseball. Look, I guess to summarize this thing up, got some ballers out there. Got some ball. Now, look, your experience as far as resources, it's gonna fall short at a lot of the schools, right? But if you want to play ball, and that's an opportunity where you feel like you go in and make a huge impact, then by all means. I mean, I know some guys. I coached a guy, went to Norfolk State, won a title. He transferred out to VCU now, but Had a phenomenal experience, man. But I really do feel like somebody like a Dion Type, man, come in, shed some light on these HBCU schools on the baseball side of things, and as a whole, these celebrities and you know entertainers with money, if they pro black proud, Black Lives Matter type,
I don't
whoever,
Black Lives Matter,
man,
nothing.
t- I ain't talking about
Okay.
organization. I'm talking,
Just pro black.
Pro-
African American lives matter. Uh, man, dump some money into these programs, man. Dump
Put
some
your
money
money where
into
your
these
mouth at.
conferences, and man, write it off on your taxes. We know how the game work.
Right.
Dang.
So that's all I got tonight.
Last,
That's,
I'm gonna sign off with this. I'm gonna give it to you, Ty. Hey, man, shout out to Minority Baseball Report. Get those guys some credit. I've been watching y'all for a while. I like the attention that you're bringing back to the game of black athletes. Not even just black athletes, right? I mean, you got all kinds of minority athletes on there, and maybe we can get them on the podcast at some point in time. I like what Ken Griffey's doing, but I'm gonna keep a spade a spade. I watch what you've been doing, and you guys have brought an all-star game to the historically black programs, right? And you made an effort to already get out in front of this thing and get the ball rolling in that regard. I think Ken Griffey Jr. obviously a little more star power, picking up the torch and trying to run with it. What we seen Dion do. It brings another facet to the game of how fast we can get the ball rolling, right? But shout out to minority prospects and what they're doing, and so hopefully we can get some of those guys on here at some point. But
Shameless plug.
absolutely,
Shameless plug. Raf is referring to Minority Baseball
prospects. I'm sorry.
Prospects. Their IG is MBP Takeover on
and
Instagram.
Twitter.
34.6 thousand followers and Twitter. 34,000. Yo, this thing ain't grown.
Mm-hmm.
Who that's us? You talking about us?
Hey, hopefully one day we'll grow like that. But I remember tapping in and they only had a couple
Mm-hmm.
So
thousand.
look, here you go.
So they've been putting
Here
in
are
some
my
work.
closing statements for what you guys are speaking on. Same thing as the Dion scenario. Look, I've been in this travel circuit for quite some time, and I've seen it grow. I've had the pleasure of coaching against Breakthrough Series, which is the all black baseball club. What's dude named Charlie Manuel, ex coach for the Phillies. He coaches there with a ton of other guys who do a phenomenal job with those players, and they give them a real world experience, like a professional world experience. Charter bus. They do a ton of instructing and coaching and getting the kids out in the community and just showing them what the real world is like. There's really no organizations that are out there doing that. So shout out to Breakthrough Series for what they do for all of the players that they bring in. I'm not just going to just highlight the black players because they do have some white kids on the team and they have some other people on the team. But look, regardless how we feel about all of this, I just don't think that it's ever really going to be like true change, because even with having your Breakthrough Series or your Minority Baseball Reports or Minority Baseball Takeover or whatever, the kids only play with them for an event. That's it. And then they go back to play on the team that they're used to playing on, whether it be the Canes, the Dirtbags, the Virginia Cardinals, I don't know, just some teams, 5-star national, whatever team they came from, they still play on those teams. And they're never really going to give up that opportunity for playing on those teams because it's not as appealing to play with just all your boys all the time. I'm not trying to be mean when I say it. It's just I wouldn't want to go play at HBCU if I had the opportunity to play at Clemson. That's just me being all the way 100. It's I feel like I got a better draft opportunity if I played in an SEC or AC school versus me playing at an HBCU. And we know this best because we played in a Big South conference where conference matters for draft. Like you just ain't getting picked up as high as you want to just based on conference
Yep.
alone.
Even PWI versus PWI. Completely feel you.
Correct. So there you go. That's my take. Nothing else to say.
Hey, for y'all who stuck with us all the way through and the prior weeks, man, appreciate y'all tapping in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Like, drop a comment below, man. If y'all got some questions for us, let us know what y'all thinking. Appreciate it. Tap in next week.